love cemeteries. Reminds me I'm alive. How cute all these neighborhoods are. Oh wait, that's a trailer park. Look how cute these neighborhoods are. When I was washing my wheels yesterday, I lost the wheel weights that were the stick-on kind. Cops hide in the median, and as I passed them, I slowed down to the limit, and one of them started going, but it looked like they were going the opposite way. But I didn't want to find out, so I just decided to pull over and check my oil. This has been Wyoming for the last 3 hours. Actually, that horse rolling in the dirt was probably the most exciting thing I've seen. As we approach Utah, but I'm Tala, we're gonna get to these nice big red rock structures. Remind me a lot of New Mexico, unfortunately, but it's beautiful, especially down in the southern half toward Moab. Salt Lake, a little bit more flat, but right here is kind of that northern tip of the range that extends from Moab. I sound like I know what I'm talking about. I've just traveled a little bit, that's all. That's really not much to southern Wyoming. All the excitement's really up in the northwest and right there at the border of Montana with Yellowstone National Park. I haven't been there, and it's definitely on my bucket list, and my bucket list is gonna get all checked off this following. I'm so excited, it's a tunnel! 100 miles, that Chevy is gonna be a black color. He's unburdened, there's no trailer, he's able to go freely with the big boys, the cars, climbing the hills, passing the other trucks. Some of you may feel the same burden. Some of you need to leave your trailer behind. Just like I did. And you know what? I feel much better. I feel so much more light. In a way. Bye, train! Oh, I think it's Pee Wee Herman, that's what it is. Large Marge sent me. Did you say Large Marge? Yeah?
But that means the Large Marge I was riding with was...
Her ghost.
Summer before. Look how green and beautiful. Wow. And I'm here because I'm visiting a very prominent figure in the Volvo community. He's got a really cool collection of Volvos, including a really cool build, a very unique build. So without further ado, let's go say hello.
This started off as a speedboat engine that I took out of a boat.
Yeah.
And then I got Model A front axle and the wheels.
How about steering? What'd you have to do with this?
So this is out of a mid-size Ford truck from the 50s. And I was out here building the entire chassis, and this old guy came up and he's like, "What are you working on?" I mean, he literally drove up and just stopped and came and chatted to me. And he was like, "Oh, I've got one of those in the basement." He came and gave me that. Then I started talking about steering. He's like, "Oh, I've got a bunch of that stuff in the basement too." He came and gave me a couple of steering boxes and linkages and all kinds of stuff. Fiberglass seats out of a Baja, a gas tank out of a 57 or 60 something Volkswagen Beetle, eBay shocks, Volvo 240 rear axle.
I love the Conrod there, that's great.
Using what I'd got lay around, that's the whole thing about this car. There were some parts like the brake master cylinder.
You've pretty much done what I wanted to do, is just build a car from scratch,
Yeah.
using whatever's around.
I've got so much stuff, it's kind of ridiculous. And these were straight, you know, and I cut.
Oh, you welded each piece?
And then, well, I did like a notch
Yeah.
every inch, and then bent it, and then welded it shut. I've got this at some point, which is an old fire extinguisher, which is going to be
that.
there. And then I got myself a plumbing pipe bender and bent this around. I wanted everything to be able to be accessible. So these panels, even though they're bolted down here, if I undid that, the whole thing would go flop.
Like that.
That was basically originally just to keep the shape, but
You can get some
it just stayed that way.
some belt straps over the top like this one. Do the Bugatti loop. Very cool.
Got the oxyacetylene out and did some brazing, and then the radiator, which I got from the same guy that I got the wheels from. We're getting
Just
disc brakes on, these were originally mechanical drums.
all right.
And so I had to buy new spindles and then new drums and then adapters to go from GM midsize to early Ford.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, fabricating it all. And this it was originally called a wishbone, and
Yeah.
it went to this. So you chop that and do a split wishbone design.
Does this ever get close to hitting?
Yeah. And it also gets really close to the starter
Oh,
too.
yeah.
It took me a month to build it.
Per month only?
Yeah.
Wow.
This one is a Lotus 7 build that I'm working on.
How much of it is a Lotus?
None.
You're just putting the body on?
So it's the chassis I'm fabricating from scratch again. It has a 1963 Volvo rear axle.
Yeah, I'll recognize that.
The Volvo front spindles. Lower A arms completely fabricated. You know, the entire thing is tacked and it's getting there. These are out of a Suzuki. Front shocks and the spindles are the original Volvo. I try and make what I can, but sometimes, especially when it's steering and suspension, I like to, I've got some upper control arms that are on order from Speedway right now.
Yeah, save a little bit of work where you
Yeah.
can. So has this one got a name?
This one
Mm-hmm.
is the Dragon Lady.
Oh, I like that. Rear battery.
Now this is kind of a unique build, not only because it's real low.
Whoa, that's your exhaust. Whoa. Hey, dude, you get into some pretty cool stuff, mate. Yes.
Too much wiring and ECUs and
I know, it sounds fun and easy, but that's why I have that 242. It's got a Nissan engine in it.
and then this one is tetanus.
The one, the only. You've seen him online, you've heard about it from your friends. The beautiful and dangerous lady that is Tetanus, the rusty 544.
It's been kind of bastardized a little bit over time,
I know.
but it's still sitting on air
Trust
ride.
me, I spent hours reading that whole thread. You know, you could do a fake splitty and then it could be a 444.
You know,
Just put a bar in the middle.
I'm tempted to do that because
know.
getting a windshield for it cut down.
Yeah, you'd have to figure something out about the curves though, right?
Yeah, because it's got a 4-inch chop on it.
Yeah.
But I actually started it up this weekend for the first time in a real long time.
Goggles are in style. Oh,
Yeah.
there's that blasted radiator.
And with this, originally I had a 3-core one,
Mm-hmm.
and the engine was running, and I dropped the front end down, the air ride, and it pushed this forward and pushed
Oh,
the
nice.
radiator into the fan,
Nice.
which was really what we needed at the time. Let's see.
Yeah, Tetanus deserves its own video, really. Oh, that's excellent too.
Get a good ground with that one.
I'm gonna learn a lot from you just by watching you.
Now, it's got real old gas in it.
There you go.
And it's got these gauges so I can see how much air is in the front and the rear. And it's also used a little storage.
Are these Beamer seats?
They are.
Yep.
No, that's actually the fuel tank right now.
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
It works.
The fuel line is plumbed all the way to the back, but
Yeah.
I've still got so much fabrication to do that I didn't want to be welding inside.
Yeah. So, a big question, which you probably ask yourself or had family ask you, is when you want to finish a project, but then you start another project, how do you sort of reconcile those two things where you Because it's always easy to start something, but it's a little harder to finish them.
What I've found is it's kind of it's my creative outlet, right? And I would never say that I'm an artist, but I get
I would say you
vision
are.
in my mind
Yeah.
of what I want, and I work on that vision until I'm comfortable with where it's at. The air ride works, and it's a driving car, pretty much. I'll come back to it. I'll figure it out one day. The steering I'm not happy with. I need to learn more about steering. So then, you know, someone in England said, oh, you can't put a Miata engine in a 122. And to me, that was just a challenge. So I took up on the challenge and, you know, completed it.
Nice.
Drove it down the road, drove it back, and went, yeah,
Moving on.
yeah, that's it. And then I kind of go through these like, dark builder days, I guess. And, you know, I don't want to do anything. I'm scrolling through Facebook or looking online, and an image of some cool car pops up, and I'm like, that's what I want to build. I want to build that right now. And then, you know, I pull my resources and do the research that I need to do and start hacking away at chunks of metal. And eventually something comes out of it that's a fun project. That one I would say is 80% done. Once it's got the tires on it, like a parking brake and some lights, then it's done. But right now, if I wanted to, I could drive it down the road. It wouldn't be very safe. But I could.
Right. No, they're not built to be safe.
No.
Ew. Woo. Woo. More power, more MPG. It's a little bit more red than you probably see on the camera. You know, once you get rid of this corn water in your gasoline, it's supposed to clean out your pipes a little bit. So I'm gonna let her rip here in a minute, and we're gonna have some fun. Getting everything, hopefully from the combustion chamber all the way to the catalytic converter and back cleaned up. Gave them a thumbs up, and they showed me their thumbs too. We touched thumbs. This is amazing. It's 9:15, and the sunset is still here. It's been the longest sunset I've ever seen, and it's still going. What? Lots of bugs. There are a lot of signs for high deer population crossing, so what I did was just kind of slow it down. 80 miles an hour is a good limit, but you don't want to be the first one in the line of a deer. What I did is just stayed behind newer cars with fancy HID lights, and they kind of lit up the way and kept speed, so I just followed them. It's good. I wish they would wave when we leave, because, you know, when you spend an hour with somebody, you at least say goodbye. One of my favorite features on these cars is how well they hide the rain gutter. Look at this. Isn't that sleek? Whew. So, I'm gonna go park somewhere, get my bed ready, go to sleep.
Pulled the driver's body from the twisted, burning wreck. It looked like this.
Activity!
Go ahead and scream your head off! We're miles from where anyone can hear you!